Hello. Um, Brandy Osborne here, multidimensional therapist, founder of the Elemental Being. I wanted to come on here today and ask you a question of when was the first time that you broke trust with yourself? And I asked this question realizing, I don't know, just combining those words, the potency of it, the realization of that I did that at a very young age. And the self-compassion piece with, I have my own counselor. I'm here to grow. I'm here, I'm in this discovery phase of who am I? I'm constantly in a discovery phase. But the reality is that my counselor, Samantha, yeah, she said things to me of when did you really know that that wasn't okay? When was the first time that you realized it? And I've grown through many things in my life and realized that there was environments where for sure I was not safe in to share what I really needed. Others couldn't hold space for it. But I would say majority of the time, I could not trust that I would share what I needed and that I would consider myself. And in different relationships and that, it was a part that I laugh at it now because I can be light and playful about it, It's oh, to be human. But the most beautiful thing is to be awake to something where you played a role. And I would be so mad at others for not respecting me, that I couldn't trust their word, that this feeling of betrayal and this whole conversation in these words, truth, trust, trustworthiness. So breaking that down, what is true? What is truth? Can you trust that you will share the truth that is your truth? And are you trustworthy? And for me, it's a really important trait for me, I know, to pursue all that I want in my life and to call in people that I can trust that they will share what they need with me, and that there will be this open conversation that is, relatively, maybe use the word frank, but in a gentle way of just sharing it in a way that someone can receive the truth, especially if your truth involves them, if they are a part of it. It's very different to share a truth that is not at all about the person in front of you. There's a different safety, and I think you can all relate to that. But anyways, it just all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I don't even know if I can trust myself. I am just slowly over the last couple of years learning how to share what is true for me and allowing others what is true for them to be their truth. And for me to not make it into something different in my own mind, to not try to get them to think the way that I think or become who I would feel really safe and comfortable with. And it's something that's really profound. When I look back, I can for sure say that there was times where I said yes to sex, for instance, when it was actually a no. That I couldn't trust that I would say no thank you, or I don't feel like it. Honestly, probably I'm 44 now, and I would say a majority of my life since I started having sex, that I would never, I just would not say no thank you, or even think do I want to? I wouldn't pause long enough to be am I into this, So it's a really interesting thing, a vulnerable share with you. And there's definitely times where I said yes to go out and do something when I didn't want to times that I told myself I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to drink more water, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm not going to stay up later, and then I didn't do it. So a lot of the time I could not, and I'm still learning to trust my word when I say it, and to keep myself accountable while also being compassionate towards a pattern that I've been in for years and years and years. What are some other things that I have said yes to? And yeah, I think really just in conversation, um, especially if it was someone that I was worried, had that unconscious like fear of abandonment or fear of them walking away. I would like they would say something, and this wouldn't be always. I would not say always, but sometimes there would be those things where I'm like, oh, I don't agree with you, or I don't feel the same way, but I wouldn't say anything, especially if they didn't ask me. Like I wasn't speaking for myself. If someone asked me, then I'm really not a great liar or an actress. But I would just like withhold truth. If it was like a yes or no answer, like do you agree? It's like, oh God. If it was an open-ended answer, I was pretty good at using words to kind of skirt around what my real truth was. And a part of my journey right now, I'm working with Hari. She is I call her my cosmic coach. She works and she is literally sharing her gift of the knowing, the knowledge, the wisdom behind astrology and how it affects you and your specific astrology. And she coaches me around that. But a big thing that I was telling her with where I'm at and where I'm at right now is being able to be clear and concise, especially when something was not okay. And to just say like that was not okay, and to hold that space for myself and to trust that I would, versus kind of dancing around a subject but really wanting them to understand what you're really trying to say. But the reality was I wasn't being clear and concise, partly sometimes because of the experience I had was very traumatic and sudden for me, and I was riding the wave of fear, trying to talk about it, having had that experience with that person. And for me, yeah, it's really vulnerable, right? But it's interesting because throughout the whole process, I've fallen deeper in love with myself, accepting and saying like I broke my trust and communicating to myself, I am sorry, I have not been trustworthy. I'm sorry that I broke trust with you. With our bodies, these loyal servants that do everything that we want them to do. Like how many times do we do things that really are not for us, that are not healthy, that if we were to really tap in and tune in and feel our body would be like, no thank you, this doesn't feel safe. Why are we going down the street? Why are we here? So breaking that trust, so being able to express that, and then being able to, in a reverent way, to say that was not okay. For me, one of my really personal experiences is I was verbally and physically attacked by a lover of mine, and it was so shocking when it happened. Like I was so angry at myself for a long time of just like, why didn't I do anything? Like, why didn't I stand up for myself? But I was so confused in that moment. And it was, verbally calling me names, saying things. And in the end, I was pinned on the floor, which I think was where I literally left my body. But looking back on it, it was just like, And then I ended up going back into that relationship because I saw the sadness and grief in his eyes while it all happened. And I could feel it in the room, that energy, but the words were never shared. But I think to look at my role, I never just said crisp and cleanly, it is not okay to talk to me that way. It is not okay to call me names. It is definitely not okay to lay your hands on me or to pin me on the floor. That is not okay. It will never be okay. I was extremely scared and hurt. I still am around it. And it's not okay. And I need you to leave or whatever. Yeah, I need you to get help because I do not feel safe being in an environment with you. So I literally never shared those words. They seem so simple. This is probably the most clear and crisp they come out of my mouth, the most simple, but I just never shared it because instead I was like dancing around, didn't want him to feel bad, also knew that there was a part of it that had nothing to do with me, but it affected me. And I was really trying to hold space for him to figure out all of these things. And I really, in the end, didn't hear those words crisply within me to myself to accept it. There's a part of me that probably believed I deserved that, and I did something to create that. That little inner kid inside of you that's like, I'm sorry for being me, you know? But I also was yearning for that, just of like, you're right, that should have never have happened. I am so sorry. That must have been scary. I know I need help. Like that was never shared. So anyways, there was obviously not a safe or bright future there. And we've moved on, but my biggest lesson in wisdom is like slowly through, because you only can learn through relation with other people. For me, just slowly, and oh man, I'm like so much better now at just sharing my truth and not being apologetic about it, just knowing like this is what I need, that's not okay, and being able to hold someone in love and light and still hold myself there and give myself what I need. But it's such a beautiful journey, and I guess yeah, I would love I would love to hear from you for sure. If you relate to this, please like this video so I know that I'm on a trajectory that's supporting you. And because every video supports me for sure, finding words to my experiences and relating them to the human world, right? And yeah, and any ponderings around when did you break your trust first? And can you land in different situations with what is your truth? What is true for you? And then forming it in a sentence of what is my truth? And the whole trusting yourself to hold space for yourself and trusting another, giving them the opportunity to. And then slowly learning to gain that trustworthiness with yourself again. And I'm sure that everyone in the world could say that they are not so trustworthy when it comes to their needs in life, the requirements of what they need in order to feel safe, to feel loved, honored, and respected. Thank you for tuning in. I love you so much, and what a journey, what a journey, what a journey we are on. Take care. I'm near. I'm always here. Please, please, please reach out. Connect. Okay, bye.